Well, hello there. I'm Horace Mann. Not Horse Man. You may ask why I have this weird southern accent when I'm from Massachusetts, but this man here does not know any other accents. I was born in 1796 in Franklin, Massachusetts. My father Thomas was a farmer. My mother Rebecca and my father were not formally educated individuals. You see, advanced education was not available during this time. In fact, in my school-age years, I was lucky to spend less than 10 weeks a year in a single-room schoolhouse. However, I loved to read. When I wasn't required to shovel horse manure on my family's farm, you would find me in the Franklintown Library. After being tutored in Latin and Greek from a Mr. Samuel Barrett, not pictured here, I was able to gain admission to the sophomore class at Brown University at the age of 20. I actually graduated with high honors in 1819. I then went on to Litchfield Law School and was admitted to the bar in 1823. For the next 14 years, I practiced law.
Call 1-800-ASK
Horace Mann.
You talk to anyone.
And made a pretty good name for myself in the political world. In 1827, my legal mind and drive for social justice won me a seat in the Massachusetts House of Representatives, where I served until 1833. From 1835 to 1837, I served in the Massachusetts Senate and served as president of it in 1836. In 1837, a movement began to improve the Massachusetts education system. The state created the first ever Board of Education, and I was appointed as its secretary. Despite all my colleagues telling me not to do it and that it was political suicide, I accepted the position and rose to the challenge. My legacy in that role of Secretary of Education is still regarded as the basis of your modern education system today. In my 11 years holding that position, I revamped the entire educational system from the ground up. I focused on educating the educators. I started normal schools. These were attended by teachers in order to establish teaching norms and standards. I also started a bi-weekly journal called the Common School Journal in 1838. This was for the benefit of the teachers, who at the time had very little formal training and no standards to stand up to. I had the government invest in better facilities and help develop a formal curriculum. Between the journal and my frequent lectures throughout the U.S., I had 6 basic propositions to help reform the public education system of the time. Number 1, it is impossible for someone to be ignorant and free. Number 2, such education must be paid for, controlled, and sustained by the interested public. Number 3, education is best provided in schools embracing children of all religious, social, and ethnic backgrounds. Thus, no school should be inclusive. Number 4, education must be non-sectarian. It must be free of sectarian religious influence and profoundly moral in character. In other words, education must be free of other people's influence. Number 5, education must be based in the ideals of a free society. Simply put, education should be democratic. And number 6, education should be provided by only well-trained professional teachers. However, my message was not taken in with open arms around the country right away. I encountered a lot of resistance from high-ranking religious officials and from politicians that saw my words as an infringement on local education on each state. But eventually my voice was taken seriously, and my views eventually became the basis for every classroom standard. After I left the role of Secretary of Education, in 1848, I took the seat of President John Q. Adams in Congress and was a fierce enemy of slavery. In 1853, I had the desire to become the governor of my great state, but eventually lost. It was then when I accepted the role of the president of Antioch College in Yellow Springs, Ohio. This was a new institution committed to co-education, non-sectarianism, and the equal opportunity for black people. 2 months before my death in 1859, at the age of 63, I spoke at a commencement ceremony at Antioch. I left the graduating class and you these words to ponder. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity.